How you
No
doing today?
problem. I'm well. I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm great. Listen,
Good.
congratulations. What you have given us in this show, my mind has just blown. And I want to
Oh,
ask you,
wow.
I mean, let's just start with John Wick. What is
Mhm.
it about these films? I
Mhm.
remember doing the interviews with Keanu and the cast for the very first movie, and I
Mhm.
thought, this is something special.
Mhm.
Clearly, 4 movies later, it was. What
Yeah.
do you think it is about that series that we just love so much?
Well, for one, it was a very simple premise in the beginning. I mean, look, they got to the heart of it. The wife passed away. Then he had a semblance of her expressed through the puppy as a final gift. And then when those bad guys came along and did what they did, you
Yeah.
was like, get them, get them. Even though you didn't know who he was, you didn't know his past, you didn't know how badass he was. It was just the emotion tagline was there. And you wanted to see vengeance take place, but you had no clue what he was attached to. And then the world expanded, and then they slowly fed you all these cool things, with
Right.
him being an assassin, being the best. Then you're just on this journey, So I kind of like, the slow, methodical build, that by the time each sequel happened and it was bigger and bigger and bigger, it's like, wait a second, this was simply the guy we saw laying in bed alone, looking at a necklace. And now here we are, we've traveled different continents, we've gotten all these assassins all over the world and stuff. So I think it was just the fact they expanded it properly, but also Keanu, he's the heart of it.
No.
Keanu is the heart of it. He's just what I love about it is he's not menacing, but he's
Yep.
threatening when he needs to be as a character. He doesn't have to
Exactly.
walk around and show it so much that you can pull from him when there is obstacles in his way.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just did an amazing job developing a great character and expanding this world to where you just want more and more. And here we are, the fortunate byproduct with the Continental.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, exactly. That's a great segue in because I love, as a fan of anything, to be got, to go back and get kind of a
Mhm.
backstory. I love that.
Yes, yes,
From the,
yes.
from the opening, oh my goodness. Okay, can we just talk about that stairway gun
Oh.
scene? How long did something like that take? I mean, the precision, working with the cast, speaking with the director to get his vision, Albert's vision. Oh my God, Larnell, please tell me.
Okay, well, first off, thank you. That was a fun one. Yeah, look, it starts in the script. The script had an atmosphere that Frankie, the character, had to make his way out, because of what he done without spoiling anything.
Yes.
Albert had a vision of the camera style. So it was on myself and my team, I had a certain amount of guys from the US that were amazing, and then also the Budapest team. We worked well together in the gym. We created different levels and layers. Because for me, I feel like the audience today is so intelligent. You don't want to repeat action. And then you also want to say it's the first action sequence. So we got to make sure they feel at ease that, all right, I'm not watching John Wick, but they're giving me John Wick esque type of
Yeah.
action where now I'm comfortable sitting back watching the story develop. So here's a little eye candy. Now here comes the world. But at the end of the day, look, Ben Robinson, I believe he had a few weeks to train the sequence in between acting, in between, different things he had to take care of. It was a lot, but he
Yeah.
pulled it together. Producers backed us up. They gave us proper time to rehearse, and we filmed that sequence in one day. In fact,
No
if
way.
I'm correct, we filmed that in about 10 hours. So,
Wow.
so I was fortunate. I mean, Albert gave me a lot of trust. And that was my first big action sequence I had to film as the action director
Yeah.
on the show. So kudos,
Well, it
props
packed
to
a punch,
Albert
I
for the
tell you.
trust.
It
Yeah,
got the show just off and running. And I do
well,
want
thank
to
you.
mention, after watching all 3 episodes, I love the fact that there's so many kick-ass women in this show. I
Yes,
mean, and you
yes.
have given them some amazing choreography, stunts, action scenes to do. Can we
Mhm.
talk about that? Because these women, go up against these guys. no
Mhm.
holds barred. It's amazing. For you as the action director to train them or coach them or whatever, do you find a big difference working with women than men, or what was it like to work with these ladies?
Well, I put it like this. Action design for me is gender neutral, where if someone comes aboard and they're willing to put the time in and, put the work in, then we're going to make you a badass. At 8711, we have a formula. And the
Yeah.
formula is we really want to make sure the audience sees the actor doing the action. So we try to see what their skills are or their athleticism is, and then we develop the action around that. So all the women that came to the table, we made sure that they had a chance to say, "This is what I do. This is who I am. This is what
Mm.
I'm good at. I'm a left-handy. I'm a right." So we try to make sure we cater to their strong points, then build it around that. Then we found their styles, and then those styles were rehearsed, and then it was able to add the character on top of those styles, where you believe that this is what they do, this is who they are. But fortunately, Yin and Gretel, they were martial artists already,
Right.
so it was about adapting what they do to the character. Jessica plays Lou, and Michelle Prada, KD.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
I know they were powerful. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, so they didn't have any fight experience, but you can't tell. And to
no
me,
way.
at
Yeah.
the end of the day, that makes our job worth it. The hours in the gym, the training, the repetitiveness of it, seeing people react like that just makes it all worth it. So
Yeah.
I'm proud. I'm like a big brother to all of them. We pushed hard as a team. There was many moments, people like, "Oh my God, again." Like, yes, again. It's film. It's only
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
so here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. And just lastly, just to wrap it up, when you're working with different directors, on a series like this, when you're working on a
Mhm.
movie, you've got one director. Now you have
Yes.
Albert for the first and third, and then you have Charlotte for the second. And of
Mhm.
course, obviously they have similar visions, but different visions. How
Yes.
refreshing is that for you to, be able to kind of bounce back and forth between the two directors?
Well, for one, Albert, he sets the tone of what our look is, the way we move our camera, how we do things. And then when Charlotte came in, she came in with the middle episode. She
Yes.
had her ideas. So for me as an action designer, you always listen and you learn, and then you find the balance between the two. How do I make sure episode two doesn't feel too different from episode one, but episode two has its own voice as well. And it
Yes.
feels like, oh, okay, this is an extension of that. Because nine times out of 10, when people watch TV, sometimes
Mm,
they don't know the directors. They just watch the
exactly.
machine. They have no clue who did episode two, episode eight, episode six. They just remember great episodes.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I feel like that's the whole work goal is great episodes. So great teamwork on both of them coming together, and then allowing me to make sure the action stayed just as exciting from one to two and obviously three.
Yeah, well, like I said, you've done an outstanding job. The action is just so top level, top shelf. So congratulations to you on this. And fans are
Thank
gonna
you.
love this. I just was blown away by all three episodes. So
Oh,
thank you so much for your time today, Larnell. Really
appreciate
appreciate it.
it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
All
care.
right. Take
Okay,
care. All
bye-bye.
right.